What's going on, Eagles World? It's your boy LA, aka Showtime 804. Welcome you back to my channel, Bird Gang Mafia. Again, thank everybody for who's like, subscribe, left a comment, all of that. I appreciate all the love, and I'm gonna try to keep giving you this content on a weekly basis, multiple times a week. So let's go ahead and get started today. So yeah, it's officially time to hit that panic button. 0-2-1 going into like a brutal portion of our schedule. So we're going to Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California to take on the defending NFC champions, the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this team is banged up just as much as we are, but you can't put anything past our Eagles this year. 2020 season has so far been a disaster. We're seeing the same lackluster performances week in and week out from a talented team, and they're just not getting the production where they need. We're seeing wide receivers go down left and right, and the guys that we have to count on for production just can't get it done. They can't get separation. Like I said, early in the week, we had a big problem with receivers not being able to get open and get separation, run proper routes last year. And we brought the exact same group of misfits back this year. And we're still going on with this next man up mentality. And it's not working. It's not producing the results we need as a football team. So Deshaun Jackson is day-to-day now with a hamstring injury. You know, Jalen Reagor just officially landed on IR, so he's gone for a minimum of 3 weeks. Alshon Jeffrey has practiced, so he's anticipating on playing. We activated Quez Watkins, so he's now has 21 days to be promoted to the game day roster after coming off of IR. Greg Ward, Deontay Burnett, and of course everybody's favorite second-round pick, not named DK Metcalf, but JJ Arcega-Whiteside, and he was limited this past Sunday. He's only had 2 targets so far on the season, and that is your second-round pick from a year ago. And I don't know what's going on with this play calling, this offense. It just looks very, very dry. I don't know if Doug is saved. He has some on that play sheet that's marked as preseason, and he's giving us a very vanilla offense. That's what we're seeing now on the field. Only thing you can do is just hope things can get better. But the way this organization is going, it's going to be a long, long season. And it's looking like we're seeing Doug either think he's the smartest man in the room, and he's not. Because, you know, after the draft, they were talking about this whole Jalen Hurts thing, which is, all in all, is messing with Carson Wentz's mentality. He's not focused for some strange reason because he feels like he's got a target on his back, and he's looking over his shoulder at his eventual replacement. And Doug was saying that they were going to use Jalen Hurts in something like a Taysom Hill role, which, for one, why would you tip your hand at that? So that left every defensive coordinator on your schedule know to go watch film from New Orleans Saints to see what Taysom Hill likes to do. Now, the problem that we have with this wanting to use Jalen Hurts in that role is Doug is only limited himself to Wentz and Jalen Hurts as the only 2 quarterbacks active on game day. Now, this brings a problem because if you want to have that philosophy where you're having Hurts come in for multiple plays at a game to generate some kind of spark in the offense, it can't happen because he is your primary backup quarterback. Now, if something happens to Wentz, and knock on wood, if something happens to Wentz, then Jalen Hurts is left with your only passing option. Now, with Sudfeld being inactive on game days the last 2 games, you can't afford to risk injury to Hurts on some kind of read option play because it puts you in a bind, because then your emergency quarterback turns into Greg Ward, who has never taken a snap in the NFL. Yes, he was a big-time quarterback in college, but again, this is the pros. So he's hampering himself with that. And a trend or something that I've noticed with Doug Peterson thinking about this whole smartest person in the room mentality is that he grew up in the Andy Reid's teaching tree. So if you remember, at one point in time in Doug's career, he was with that Donovan McNabb when they didn't value the wide receivers like they should have. And we're looking at that now with Carson Wentz, where his skill set, it looks like he's regressing because the talent around him is diminishing, where that they're just not having a focal point and making a strong enough emphasis on the wide receiver position. Now, partly of that is one, Doug and his scheme and creativity and how much he really misses Frank Reich. And another is Howie for getting us in this fiasco with this cap situation where we had to miss out on certain players because of bad drafting. We're taking second round picks, third round picks who have little to no impact on the team, and some of them aren't even here anymore. So looking back at the drafts, the 2013 team draft class, you have Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz. Those are the only ones still on this team. Josh Huff was drafted in that year, so that's a wide receiver that's no longer here. 2014 and 2015, those entire draft classes are no longer with the roster. So where most teams use some of their rookies and younger players as stopgaps because they're getting production from them on rookie contracts, so they're not spending a lot of money on them, we have to spend money on free agents because we're not drafting and developing that talent. And that is why we are in this fiasco we are in now, because we just have not done well with this cap. And for Howie Roseman to be some kind of cap guru, he's really missing the boat on this one. And then also some of our higher paid players are missing on the field. You know, we just gave Brandon Brooks this huge contract, and he's on IR. Now, Wentz gets a lot of flack for being injury prone, and I don't want to stick him with that injury prone label because he doesn't have like a lot of nagging injuries. He's always the severe injuries where he just can't bounce back. So you're talking about a torn ACL, you can't come back from that. A broken bone in his back, you can't come from that. Then I forget the cheap shot concussion that he sustained in the playoff game. Whereas, you know, Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, some of the other higher priced guys on the team, they missed quite a few games year in and year out. And these are like your respective third and fourth highest paid players on the team. So that also runs into an issue that we have. Now, with this 49ers game coming up, they are not a pass-happy team, so I pretty much think that our secondary can hold up. They should be able to hold up. Darius Slade should be able to hold his own. The other side, Trevor Williams, I like some things that I saw from him in the Bengals game, but, you know, time will tell. Now, Jim Schwartz, we've seen this in the past from him where he gets lackadaisical. So if you remember the Jets game last year where we had 10 sacks, he sent pressure. You know, he made that inexperienced quarterback very rattled very quickly. And we just kept the pressure on throughout the entire game. Now, here we go this Sunday, this past Sunday, actually, we got 8 sacks, all from the defensive line. I think maybe Jalen Mills got a half a sack or something like that, but that's going to be what Jim Schwartz will probably hold his hat to, that, oh, my D-line got the pressure. So this week, look forward to Jim Schwartz not being consistent with bringing pressure to this inexperienced quarterback, especially if Jimmy G's not playing. Even if Jimmy G was playing, I would send, you know, pressure into him because he will rattle up. And we're just not going to do the smart thing as far as football. You know, I still believe in the team to win, but, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm not counting on it because we haven't seen any changes made to that linebacking core. Now, the 49ers are a run-heavy team, and we made no changes to the linebacking core, so that means Nathan Gerry will be on that field yet again for 90+% of the snaps on the field. So we're in for a long, long day, especially if Mostert's playing, Tevin Coleman, McKinnon, those guys probably going to have some fun. Not to mention Kyle Shanahan with his creative playbook. And our defense is not very disciplined. just no moves. The biggest move we made was bringing up another tight end because we put Goddard on IR. Now this guy is off of somebody else's practice squad, so that means he wasn't good enough to make a 53-man roster somewhere. But we're gonna go ahead and try to use Hakeem Butler as a tight end, even though he's built more like a wide receiver. So he's pretty much got the same frame as Alshon Jeffrey, and we just got to see something change this week. It's officially time to panic because this road does not get any easier. We go to the 49ers, then we have Pittsburgh or Baltimore, then we play the Giants and the Cowboys. So it's not a tough sled. It's tough sledding for us. This is not going to be a walk in the park. We just got to continue to keep doing what we do best, well, which is probably nothing this year. And then something that Doug is doing that is bothering me a lot is downplaying his players' progress. So like he was talking about how Miles Sanders said that he was fatigued after this last game, which is why we didn't go back to him. And you know, Miles Sanders stated that he wasn't fatigued in any point. He could have kept running. And you know, with Jason Peters, he said that Jason Peters had a good game last week, and we all know if anybody with functional eyesight saw that Jason Peters probably played his worst game as a professional football player. And it's just like I understand you want to take care of your players, but you have to hold them accountable. You cannot just sit there and let them, because there's no repercussions. They're just doing what they want to do, and they're not getting benched. They don't get, and I know you don't want to, lash them out to the media, but you can have a conversation with them, pull them to the side, and let them know what you call as good work on this field and cutting it. And you need to come on and have a seat with me. I don't care if you got to tell them, hey, go up in that blue tent for a little bit so you can milk it off or whatnot. But some of these guys just do not need to be on this field. Hopefully, Will Parks comes back soon so we can see the end of Jalen Mills at the safety position. I like Jalen a lot as a player, but he's not a safety. And with our safeties, our strong safety is smaller than our free safety. So let that sit into the back of your brain for a second. They really need to do some soul searching. I don't want to see no players only meeting because nothing good ever comes out of that. But we got to do something to turn this ship around. Let me know what you guys think. Remember to like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's see what we can get out here this week, all right? Bird Gang, fly Eagles fly.